Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win, or you find a way to lose. You'll be more on the losing end of things if you get distracted, like what I think Rolly Romero is at the moment. Several things are going on with Rolly, and I'm telling you right now, I think it's a problem. The very first thing going on with him that I think is going to present huge obstacles for him to overcome stands about 5'4", 5'5", and can crack, and is definitely, as the nickname says, a Pitbull. And I'm talking about Isaac Cruz. Now, Rolly is really bothered that Cruz is listed as a 2-to-1 favorite to beat Rolly Romero. Now, when you talk about Rolly Romero, look, I understand some people don't want to give Rolly the credit that he deserves as a fighter. I mean, when you look at Rolly Romero, the man has 15 wins, 13 by KO, 1 loss. The loss was by KO to Tank Davis, right? 86% KO ratio. His reach is only 68 inches. He stands at 5'8", so he doesn't have the longest arms. But the bottom line is, Rolly can crack, right? Everyone knows he can fight. And that's why him and Pitbull Cruz, everyone's expecting a great mashup crash up when Cruz gets in the ring with Rolly to challenge for his WBA strap. But this is the issue with Rolly Romero, right? First, he's got to face Cruz, okay, which is a huge obstacle to overcome. Because Cruz, when he comes in there, all he knows is one speed. And he's all gas, no brakes, and he's letting his hands go, and he doesn't give a damn if he takes shots. He has pretty good head movement. He gets low, finds a way to bob and weave himself to the inside, and once he gets inside, he explodes, just like Mike Tyson used to. But this is the other problem with Rolly Romero. Let me show y'all something. Now, you tell me what you think about this, right? Rolly Romero is the WBA champ. You see, you got for 140-pound division, Teofimo's the WBO champ, Suber Matias is the IBF champ, Devin Haney's the WBC champ, Rolly Romero's the WBA champion. But when you look at the ring rack and stack for the 140-pound division, they have Teofimo Lopez, who's the ring champion. You got to give him credit for that. He has the lineal belt, and he did beat Josh Taylor. But they got Devin Haney ranked 1, Josh Taylor ranked 2, and this is as a 14 Feb, so I'm surprised they still got Taylor in here when he's not even campaigning at 140. Matias at 3, Ramirez at 4, Prograis at 5, even though he just got he just got chicken pecked to death against Devin Haney. You got Hitchens at 6, Catterall at 7, Barbosa Jr. at 8, Russell, who hasn't fought in goddamn 25 years, at 9, Martin at 10. But my thing is, why wouldn't they put Rolly up there? And that's what creates a problem for Rolly Romero. It's another distraction. Feels he's not getting the respect he deserves. People aren't taking him serious. And he feels he has to come out and make a statement against Pitbull Cruz. So this is the problem. 1, he got to face Cruz. 2, he's not getting his respect as a champion, right? And 3, this is the other problem for Rolly Romero. He's distracted, right? He no longer has his trainer, Bullet, in his corner. The Bullet went on record and said he feels that people have gotten in Rolly's ear, and as a result, Rolly doesn't want to listen. He didn't really expound too much, but you could tell that Bullet was bothered because he felt like he's the one that took Rolly from nothing to something in boxing and made him a champion. Now, I don't know how true that is or not, but hey, he's the head trainer, so I guess he deserves the credit, right? But that being said, the next issue for Rolly, which would be, so far we said is he's facing Pitbull Cruz, not being taken serious as a champion, right? Then he had the trainer issue at number 3. Then the next issue at number 4 is the fact that Rolly Romero isn't feeling like he's accepted by Latinos. Now, Rolly speaks Spanish, but this is something Rolly was talking about. He was like, to Cubans, he's just a black American. because his dad's Cuban. But he said the black Americans, he's Cuban because his mom is black. And he said he just kind of in the breeze. It doesn't really fit in anywhere. Now, for him to talk about those things, it just lets you know the 4 things we've listed so far, that's a lot for this man to have on his brain. One, he got a tough-ass opponent in front of him in Pitbull Cruz, where Rolly's a 2-1 underdog, right? Second thing is, no one's giving him his respect as a champion. They see him as a cartoon, a walking cartoon. The third thing is he broke up with Bullet. Fourth thing is he feels that he's not getting any respect from the Latin people. He feels like they just, although he speaks Spanish, his pops is Cuban, people either see him as black or Cuban. And I'm going to tell you this, me being a guy who, of 2 races, pops from another country, but I actually, like Rolly, I spent a lot of time in the country my dad's from, Trinidad and Tobago. But I didn't go through what he went through, but I understand, I think it just depends on how you're raised, you know what I'm saying? But I totally understand what he's saying. But the 5th thing for Rolly Romero is that, let me see, there was a 5th thing, so it was that, they're being biracial. And there was one other thing that he said that got my attention. And I was like, man, it's unfortunate for him. Oh, the 5th thing is him not really having anywhere to go if he loses this fight. If Rolly Romero loses to Pitbull Cruz, Rolly Romero has nowhere to go. And when you look at the division, the only reason, now this is my opinion, that Rolly Romero is getting the attention that he's getting is one, the number one reason because he's, out there with Mayweather and Ellerby, right? But the aside from that is because he has a WBA strap. But, some people still are saying Barroso deserved to win that fight. Secret Society got involved, and Rolly got the hookup. But what I will say is, if he does lose to Pitbull Cruz, I don't know where Rolly goes, because they're already not taking him serious as a boxer. Remember, he called out Earl Spence. I tell you what, how many of you feel that the Earl Spence that fought Terrence Crawford would have beat Rolly? That's all I'm saying. Just be real with yourself now. How many of you feel that Earl Spence would have beat Rolly? Is it because Terrence Crawford made him look that bad? Or is it because Earl Spence just, on that particular night, was easy kill for anybody who had a punch and who was somewhat of a decent boxer? But, when you look at everything with Rolly, going up against Isak Pitbull Cruz, although Pitbull Cruz is small, comes forward and will give Rolly an opportunity to land shots. Pitbull Cruz is going to land his too. But that's just too much on a person's plate, in my opinion, to be coming into a fight of this magnitude. Because I tell you what, you listen to Pitbull Cruz, when he starts talking about Rolly Romero, he tell you, I don't care, I could care less what Rolly has to say about me. He was like, we're going to see what happens when that bell rings. That's what I want to know. He was like, I respect every opponent. And the only time I lose respect is when I'm inside the ring. And Pitbull Cruz has it right. I think that's what it's all about. Outside the ring, we can be friends and everything, but when you're inside the ring, that shit goes out the window. And I like what Cruz said, where he said, let's see if Rolly can back up all the things he said about me. And if he's as strong with his fist as he is with his mouth. Those words to me, that's some real gangster shit, man. Let's see if your fists are as strong as your mouth. Because if you're going to be Al Capone, the way I see it is you should go all the way. Now, I understand that a lot of people, when they talk about, Rolly Romero, and this is the thing that really, I think we need to pay attention to here is when it comes to Rolly Romero. Let me pull this out for you. This is going to make a difference, people. The fact that he has a 68-inch reach. But when you look at 68-inch reach, okay? 5'8", 68-inch reach. But let's look at this. Okay, but when you pull up Pitbull Cruz, he's 5'4", 4 inches shorter, and he has 63-inch reach. So Rolly has a 5-inch reach advantage. When you look and you see that, right? What does that make you feel, knowing that Pitbull Cruz has a 5-inch disadvantage going up against Rolly? Now, when you look at Pitbull Cruz, 25 wins, 17 KOs. He has 2 losses, 68% KO ratio. But if you look at what Pitbull Cruz has been doing in his last few fights, right? This is what I think really matters. He got a split decision against Giovanni Cabrera, which a lot of people felt that he lost that fight. He won by KO the 2 fights before that. Then he lost, of course, to Gervonta Davis, then against Francisco Vargas. He happened to get himself a decision. But what I'm getting at is when we talk about Pitbull Cruz, is he can be outboxed. And if he can't get to you, he's going to try. But if he can't get to you, he's just swinging and hitting air. And Rolly, I think, and his team looked at that last fight and said, you know what? We've got something here. And Rolly, I don't care what anyone says about this. Every single person, when they talk about Rolly Romero's power, they say he's one of the hardest punchers in boxing. Everybody says it. Even those who think he's quirky, think he's cartoonish, they say, can't sleep on him in sparring. He will knock you out. Everybody says that. So that being said, with him in the ring with Pitbull Cruz, and Rolly having 2 healthy hands, healthy, well-conditioned legs, they're counting on Rolly, putting the half American, half Cuban beans on the Mexican Isaac Cruz. And they're rolling the dice and saying Rolly's going to win by knockout. Now, will he beat Cruz by knockout? I don't know. But I'm definitely not so confident in him getting a knockout now that I know how distracted he is with so many things going on in his personal life. I did not know that. Now that I'm cognizant of that, well, I got to be honest with myself. We're going to see how that affects him going into the ring. Because one thing I'll tell everyone who's listening to this video right now, you can go anywhere in this world, and whatever problems you're having at home, you don't escape that shit. You know why? Because you can't leave your mind behind. So when a person's like, oh, I took a vacation to Hawaii. Oh, I went to Jamaica. Oh, I went to Ecuador. Oh, I went here. And I went to Europe and left my troubles behind. Bullshit. Stop taking it to the stupid. You took all that bullshit with you. You know why? Because you cannot leave your mind behind. And with Rolly Romero, when he gets in that ring, he may think he's going to Honolulu. He may think he's going out in Europe somewhere to chill and go see the Eiffel Tower. Bullshit. The reality is, he's taking those problems with him. Getting inside that ring is no escape from his reality. And he could end up losing this fight to Pitbull Cruz if he doesn't get his shit together. Because he's distracted and Pitbull Cruz is focused. Yo, I'm in the breeze.